Howdy folks, welcome back to another video, and this one's going to be kind of an interesting video. I haven't done anything quite like this before. Obviously this video is on the Quadra 700, more specifically the power supply. So the Quadra 700 is a machine that I've kind of been after for quite some time, and this one I got quite a while back. Honestly, the only reason that I was so excited to get this machine is because I had the feet for it, the vertical feet. Of course, everybody's seen these machines in Jurassic Park, and they are pretty popular machines for collectors these days. But it's just been one that I've been after, like I said, ever since I got those stupid little feet. They are actually factory feet for, I believe, this machine. I think the Quadra 700 was the only. I don't think the 2CX had little holes on the side. I think they only had them on the bottom. I think that one was maybe it had feet for the bottom too. I don't know, but or on the side, whatever you want to call it. So it was pretty cool to find this machine with, and have a place to use the feet that I had. So it worked out good in the end, I guess. It's kind of been a work in progress for me. The big issue with it right now, obviously, is the power supply, and we'll be testing that in this video. Thankfully, these machines don't have any electrolytic capacitors on the board that I can remember, so I know they don't have any surface mount ones, at least. So we're clear there, and this one's had a thorough clean, so it's in pretty decent shape. The floppy drive and hard drive are not in it currently. Those I have off to the side for cleaning. It was quite dirty when I got it. So I did, however, pull the video port out of it, this DB15 connector here for the for the monitor. As you can see, it was pretty rough. Of course, I ordered a replacement, but yeah, that doesn't look quite right, does it? Yeah, that's because I obviously don't know how to order parts. So I ordered a straight through instead of ordering an angled one. So I've got the correct one coming, and obviously we can still test this. Thankfully, the Quadra 700 has new bus slots, and I thankfully have a new bus card to put in here. So we'll be testing it on the beautiful monitor right there. You can kind of see it. I think that monitor works. I guess we'll find out. So let's jump right into it. I'll pull the, you can see the power supply stuff is right over there. I'll throw that where the Quadra 700 is, and we'll start digging into it, I guess. Alrighty, let's take a look at the major components here. So this is the main power supply board. I removed this choke because, or this component, like I said, I think it's a choke or something. But I removed that because there is a capacitor right here that is pretty difficult to get to otherwise. So you'll notice there are some capacitors on here already. Those, like I mentioned before, I had grabbed out of my bin that I already had. So I had these in stock in my component cabinet. So did not have to worry about those. There's a few capacitors here. Not going to worry about those. Probably not going to worry about these two either. But in all fairness, it didn't really look like any of these caps were leaking. But better be safe than sorry. My 2CX had issues where it would I had to leave it plugged in for 30 minutes or something for it to power up. So I didn't test this one. I don't know if it worked beforehand. But I guess it's too late now. We'll never know. I threw I got rid of the other caps, so those are gone. So, I don't know. We'll give it a shot at recapping and testing it. This is the power input and output for a monitor little board here. There is a REFA capacitor normally right here, a filter cap. I removed that. We'll have some fun getting that one in, I'm sure. And oops. And there's a few on this board here, which you can see I have already replaced. These are 4700 picofarad, I believe, REFA caps, and I actually got REFA caps on there. Those are new, but they still say REFA on them, so yeah, who knows, maybe they'll last another 20 years, or not. This one has a capacitor here that we have to put on, and I think this one's done. I couldn't find a replacement for this one readily available, or maybe I just didn't look hard enough, but we're going to leave it and risk it. So that's about it. Let's go ahead and start working on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my soldering iron here. I haven't done one like this, so we're going to see how this turns out. If this video ends up being a failure, well, we'll never do it again, but I figure it'd be kind of fun. You can join me in the repair process. We'll start with the hardest part first. This little, what is this? 1000 picofarad capacitor. Oops. Okay, let's see here. Get by with cutting it short. Of course, my flush cutters are broken, so yeah, it's fantastic. I gotta get a new pair of them. But until then, we're gonna have to deal with it. Alrighty, there we go. You can see it in there. Had a little bit of finagling with some capacitor or some tweezers. Let's go ahead and solder this right in place here. I'm working around my monitor or my camera, so it's not great. Looks pretty good. Alrighty, there we go. This component is done. So of course I have to get my capacitor list out here because I don't remember what was where. So we'll set that off to the side. Let's work on the let's work on this guy. This should be pretty simple. So this capacitor is C10, and C10 is 4.7 microfarad by 400 volt. So let's go take a look. There we go. And when I buy capacitors, I don't know, I usually go for the lowest impedance, and I usually do Nichicons because that's what I've always picked. I don't know, I'm weird. And of course I bought more than I needed, so you know, now I'm going to be stuck with these for the next 80,000 years. These ones are obviously polarized, so I'll put the long leg in where the positive is, and of course negative has a little white thing there, so pretty simple. Pretty simple, not too bad. Oops. There we go. I gotta hold it up to my face to get a good look at it, make sure it's properly soldered and then no cold solder joints. So there we go, there's another one done. Alrighty, let's take a look at those other ones here. So now we're working on this guy. I think we'll do this one that's in a pain in the butt spot right there in the center. That is C31. C31 is 100 microfarad by 35 volts. Matter of fact, I'm just going to grab all of them right away and put them right in front of the camera. There's that one. There's that one. And there's that one. I think those are right. I guess we'll check them as we go. But we need the 100 microfarad by 35 volt cap first. Okay, just verify that that was indeed the correct one. See if we can sneak it in there now. I do apologize for the camera quality on these videos. I know sometimes they kind of go back and forth from being decent to poor. And last video that I did was on the Lisa, and I recorded that with my cell phone. So because I'm doing this with my tripod, unfortunately I'm using my old Samsung camcorder, which is definitely not that good. It says it's HD, but it's pretty bad. I filmed the video where I worked on the IBM monitor, where I pulled that apart, and I rewatched it after I'd uploaded it. Man, that was pretty bad. Okay, there's that cap. Kind of crooked, which I don't like. Let's fix that. On to the next one. I think we're going to put this this little choke or whatever it is in there. I have to imagine that's what that is. Obviously, you can only put this one in one way. I mean, unless you do it that way, but that would be kind of dumb. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Doesn't fit. There we go. It is a tight fit there with that new cap that I put in. But I think it'll work. See if it stays so I can solder it quick. And I think that should be good. Nice, looks like a factory repair job right there. Sweet. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and put this cap in, and then there's two here, and I think that might be it. We can give her a test. Okay, so this one is C25. That's this one right here. And that is 180 microfarad by 16 volt. 180. Did I forget to order that one? Interesting. Alrighty. Here's that new cap. Make sure we get polarity correct. It's another tight fit, but it'll work. A little tighter than I would like. It's kind of jammed in between the daughter board there and that other cap, but we'll have to deal with it. Well, that's a problem. Clearly I can't see what I'm doing, because I soldered that to the wrong part. Alrighty. Just one more left, or two more maybe. We just have 23 and 22 left. Those are 1500 microfarad by 10 volt. And that is these right here. Two of these little guys. And they should be all finished. go ahead and pop these guys in there. These ones are diagonal, which is weird. I don't know, just usually they're not diagonal, I guess? I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. Feels weird. Just to kind of jam everything into this power supply, so it's quite tight in here. There we go. Let's go ahead and solder these in place. Touch this one up one more time. There we go. Hope it's not too painful watching me do this. Alrighty, folks. We're done. At least with this part. I suppose we should try to reassemble it here. I don't know if I'm going to show that on camera, though. Because I don't remember how it goes back together. So that's kind of a problem. Alrighty, so before we hook it up to a monitor, I've got the power supply in there. I figured out how to put it back together. Only a few leftover washers. So before we hook it up to a video monitor, let's just put power to it and see if it chimes. I think that's going to be our first test. That's power. Let's see if this little light turns on. Perfect. I would say that's a plus. Got a light, got a chime. Let's hook it up to a monitor and see what it does. Alright, so this is a little overkill, right? Not quite the color monitor that I thought it was going to be, but you know what? It'll work. It was sitting like right over there and I didn't have to move a bunch of crap around. So I figured let's just give this a shot. I know this monitor works. I've already got it on, obviously. Let's go ahead and hit the power switch on the Quadra and see what she does. Fingers crossed. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh no, there we go. There we go. I don't know if we'll get the flashing logo, or excuse me, the flashing floppy. Forgot what it was for a second there, because this already has an internal video card technically, and this nope, never mind. There we go. But it's flashing super slow. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. Maybe if it doesn't detect a hard drive, or a floppy drive, I mean. There isn't a floppy drive in this machine right now. It's, like I said, it's a ways away, but at least we have video and power. So that means we can recapture. I didn't explode. I didn't put any capacitors in the wrong way. I think I would call that a successful recap. See if the reset button works. Yeah. Looks like it's working great. Cool, well, thank you guys for joining me in this odd video. I've never done a video like this, and I figured, you know, it'd be kind of a fun thing to try, so hopefully it works out. If it does, you know, maybe I'll do these more often. They're kind of fun. They're a little bit clumsy because it's hard to record with the camera, but obviously that's something I could work out, you know, over multiple times of doing it or whatever. So could definitely improve that. If you guys like this video or like these kind of videos, let me know. I don't know if anybody even watches my channel anymore. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I uploaded anything. Obviously with the exception of that Lisa video. So, well, cool. either way, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one.